You know that one friend who exists vividly in real life? You see them at coffee, you laugh with them at work, they have a pulse and a personality. But if you look for them online, they are a ghost. Their profile picture is a landscape, a cartoon character, or a photo from 2016 where they look 12 years old. You scroll through their feed and find nothing. No vacation selfies, no food pics, no look at my outfit updates. It's easy to assume they're just technologically illiterate, or maybe they're hiding something. Are they a spy? Are they in witness protection? Or maybe, just maybe, they know something the rest of us have forgotten. While millions of people are curating their lives into perfect bite-sized digital galleries, trading their privacy for dopamine hits, there is a silent minority who opt out entirely. And I'm not talking about the people who quit social media in a loud, dramatic huff. I'm talking about the people who are there, watching, scrolling, but never posting. The lurkers, the ghosts, the observers. Stay with me, because the psychology behind why someone chooses digital silence is actually far more complex than just being private. It reveals deep truths about how we value validation, how we process memory, and how we view our own identity. If you are one of these people, or if you're trying to understand one, what you're about to hear might just explain your entire worldview. Let's look at the first psychological profile, the experiencer. Imagine a stunning sunset. The sky is bleeding purple and gold. Most people's instinct is immediate. Phone out, camera app, snap, story, post. Sunset vibes. For the majority of us, the experience feels almost incomplete until it has been shared and validated by others. We have conditioned our brains to believe that pics or it didn't happen. But the experiencer has a different wiring regarding what psychologists call the locus of evaluation. For the chronic poster, the locus is external. The value of the moment is determined by how many other people see it and like it. The experiencer, however, has an internal locus of evaluation. They look at the sunset, feel the awe, and that feeling is the reward. The loop is closed. They don't need the secondary loop of digital applause to feel satisfied. In fact, for them, stopping to frame the photo, edit the contrast, and think of a witty caption actually interrupts the dopamine flow of the real-world experience. They aren't posting because, in their minds, they already got the best part. Then, there's a second, more surprising profile. This one isn't about confidence, it's about control. Let's call them the perfectionist in hiding. You might assume that someone who never posts just doesn't care about their image, but often it is the exact opposite. They care too much. This is rooted in a psychological concept called high self-monitoring. These are people who are hyper-aware of how they're perceived in social situations. When they go to post a photo, their brain runs 1,000 simulations. Does this look like I'm trying too hard? Is the lighting weird? Will my ex see this? What if nobody likes it? The anxiety of managing their digital reputation becomes so high that the easiest move is simply not to play the game. It's a form of protective paralysis. If you post nothing, you can't be judged, you can't be cringe, you can't be ignored. By remaining a blank slate, they maintain a perfect, unblemished potential. In their camera rolls, they might have hundreds of selfies or nice photos that they almost posted, but the fear of the spotlight effect, the psychological bias where we think people are paying way more attention to us than they actually are, stops them every time. For them, silence is a shield. But here is where the psychology gets a bit darker and perhaps a bit more powerful. We have to talk about the strategist. In an era where attention is the currency, we're told that sharing is caring. We're encouraged to commodify our privacy. But the strategist understands the law of demand. When you post everything, what you ate, who you're with, where you act, you flood the market with you. Your value, paradoxically, can drop because you are so accessible. People who don't post often intuitively grasp the concept of social scarcity. By withholding their image, they create a sense of mystery. When they do show up to a party, or when you finally see them in person, it carries more weight because you haven't seen their face on your screen 10 times that morning.
It's a power move. Whether they realize they're doing it or not, they're reclaiming their autonomy. They're saying, I see you, but you don't get to see me unless I want you to. In a surveillance economy, being unobservable is the ultimate luxury. There is one final group, and this one might be the healthiest of them all. Let's call them the intimacy prioritizer. These people aren't antisocial. In fact, they might share photos all the time, just not with the public. They send pictures of their dog to their mom. They text ugly selfies to their best friend. They use group chats religiously. Psychologically, this comes down to the difference between broadcasting and narrowcasting. Broadcasting is performing for an audience, many of whom are strangers or loose acquaintances. Narrowcasting is bonding with a tribe. The intimacy prioritizer finds the public feed hollow. They don't get a dopamine hit from 50 likes from people they haven't spoken to since high school. They get their oxytocin, the bonding hormone, from a specific direct connection. They're not hiding, they're just investing their energy where the return is real intimacy, not just digital noise. So, where does this leave us? If you are someone who posts constantly, you might look at these non-posters and think they're boring or disconnected. But the reality is, they might just be living in a different layer of reality. They're preserving the distinction between the public self and the private self, a boundary that the internet has almost completely dissolved for the rest of us. Maybe you're the ghost. Maybe you're the one watching this video nodding along, realizing that your lack of a digital footprint isn't a flaw, it's a feature. You've chosen to keep your memories for yourself. You've chosen to let people wonder. I'm curious, which type resonates with you? Are you the perfectionist, paralyzed by the feed, or the experiencer who just forgets to take the phone out? Or maybe you're the strategist, silently observing it all. Let me know in the comments, or don't. I'll understand.